Good evening. Ding. Always wanted to do that. Good evening and welcome to May 28th, 2018 Valley View School District Board meeting. Ms. Campbell, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Sikora, could you please read the affirmation of the Board Education mission statement?
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you. Dr. Mitchum, the agenda, please.
Yes, President Pro Tem Zach, I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say yea.
Could I have some clarification as to what was amended?
We removed item 11.1 from the action. Yes.
What did we remove?
Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Can I ask a question? Or no? Abstain.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. The consent agenda items, Dr. Mitchum?
Yes. President Pro Tem Zach, I'd like to ask that the board approve consent agenda items 5.1 through 5.3 as amended. 5.1 board meeting minutes, 5/14/18, 5.2 executive session meeting minutes, 5/14/18, and 5.3 gifts for Romeoville High School.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Student and staff recognition. We have the IESA track and field qualifiers from AVM Assistant Principal Bill Norman.
Can you hear me? Good evening, school board, senior leadership, community. My name is Bill Norman. I'm the proud assistant principal of Martinez Middle School. I'm here to honor two of our outstanding student athletes in track and field. First, Ava Maglaya. She qualified for the state tournament in the 7th grade girls long jump. According to her coaches, Ava is one of the kindest and most hardworking athletes that her coaches have ever had the pleasure of working with. She's a great team leader and motivator for her peers. She always brought a smile and positive energy, which was infectious amongst her peers. She improved all season in all of her events. Her times were faster and her jumps were further. She took feedback from her coaches seriously and it would translate into her performance. We are confident that had she been able to attend the state meet, that she would have attained her best distance. Ava Maglaya. Our second student athlete, Josh Carley, he qualified for the 7th grade 110-meter hurdles and the 7th grade 400-meter run. Josh Carley possesses a tremendous work ethic to go along with his talent. He's a coach's dream. He came to practice each day in hopes of bettering himself and others around him. Josh came back from an ankle sprain only 1 week before sectionals to qualify for state in 2 events. As usual, Josh put forth his best effort and took third in the 400 despite being ranked 17th. And he also medaled in the 110-meter hurdles as Josh took 6th place. AVM is proud to call Josh one of our own. Thank you.
Who's next?
Lukansic Middle School. Good evening. On behalf of the Lukansic Middle School, we would like to thank community members, members of the board, senior leadership, and Dr. Mitchum for honoring our Valley View athletes tonight. We'd also like to thank the parents of these athletes. Your support is greatly appreciated and important to the success of these young people. Special thank you to Lukansic Principal Tricia Rollerson, Assistant Principal Josh Gage, Athletic Directors Kelly Boley and Dan Bolivant. Your actions this year were a huge compliment to our success. Thank you to my fellow coaches, Brian Sigmund, Felicia Coster, Aaron Hinchcliffe, and Jason Pick. Your dedication for these athletes was very appreciated this year. Tonight, we would like to recognize JJL 7th grader Emmanuel Darko and 8th grader Michael Osi Bonsu. Both Manny and Michael got it done this year on the track and in the classroom. Their hard work and dedication is second to none. Witnessing these two grow throughout the year was a true pleasure. Both of them qualified for state in their events and placed respectfully. Manny in the 100 and Michael in the shot put. Above all, and most impressive characteristic of both of these young men is their character. They are great teammates and kind human beings who have a very bright future. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor to recognize from Lukansic Middle School, Emmanuel Darko and Michael Osei Bonsu.
Dr. Ward?
Good evening, everyone. Keith Wood, principal of Brooks Middle School. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our coaches and athletic dean, Coach Kerr, and our athletic director, and our coach, Doug Coker, who will tell you a little bit about our fine athletes.
Good evening. We at Brooks would like to thank everyone at the board as well as senior leadership for allowing us the opportunity as a team to compete down at the state level. We had a very successful track season despite the challenges for the weather in the beginning of the season. We had one relay team and one individual compete at the state level this past season. The individual was Myonica Johnson. She competed as an 8th grader in the 100-meter dash. And then tonight we have representatives from our 4x1 7th grade girls team that competed at the state level, and they accomplished the 7th place at state as well. The 4x1 who is here representing tonight, starting with Jan Jimenez. Kristen Johnson. Lauren Mitchell. And Ayana Weidman. Lastly, they had a 5th person of Elizabeth Sarpong.
Next, who do we have?
Barbie Chisholm from Hubert H. Humphrey Middle School.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce two of our track coaches, Erica Thomas and Mike White.
Hello, good evening. I have the pleasure of working with Mike White as one of our coaches, and we've had the pleasure of working with several very talented athletes this season. We have a 4x1 8th grade team that went downstate and competed. They placed 26th in state, which was actually a phenomenal achievement because we really struggled with this team to even get to state this year. So we were very proud of them. Their hard work and dedication paid off. They were very flexible, and they came to practice every day. And tonight, representing our 4x1 team is Jason Ortega. Unfortunately, due to scheduling with family events, several other athletes that were competing at the state event this year were unable to attend this evening. And the other members of that 4x1 boys team were Anthony Ryburn, Rajon Smith, Joshua Beechler, and Jaquan Howard. Jaquan Howard also competed and took 6th place in the boys 100-meter dash for 8th grade. And we had one lady representing Humphrey Warriors, and that was Aaliyah Hill, who took 20th place for shot put. So we are very pleased with all of our athletes. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board, members of senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, and members of the community. I'm Pauline Zadanek, the assistant principal at Jane Addams Middle School. It's my honor to represent Ms. Polson and the Jane Addams staff as we recognize this elite group of student athletes. At Jane Addams, one of our character traits is that we persevere and we don't quit. These student athletes exemplify this character trait in the classroom and on the track. Here to speak about our team and introduce the athletes is the incredibly talented and always humble Mr. Thass.
Yes. It was a very good year for our track team. We had 17 state qualifiers, but you know what? 5 of them showed up, so we'll talk about those 5. I'm gonna quick story time. All right, don't worry, I'll make it quick. All right. This relay team is made up of a bunch of distance runners. They don't usually sprint, and I had an opening on our 4x1. I went up to the boys and I was like, hey guys, you want to run a 4x1? They're like, oh, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, we totally want to do that. So the day of the race, they were actually joking beforehand. They were like, dude, we're going to go and we're going to just try and not get last thoughts. We're going to do this. And they ran it, and they ended up breaking the school record by a lot. And they ended up beating some really, really good teams, finishing 3rd and qualifying for state. And then they what were you guys, 12th? 14th. They were 14th in the state, made of a bunch of kids who run like the mile. So it was pretty awesome, and it was a really big surprise, and I've never seen the team that excited to see a relay before. They were lining the track. They were crazy excited for it. So it was a pretty awesome experience. The first one is the alternate for it. He ran the mile also that day. He's an incredible kid, and I'm really going to miss him, Arturo Rodriguez. Next, another versatile runner. He made it down last year in the 4x2 and the 4x4, and this year he makes it down in the 4x1, Julian Flores. There you go, man. Another one, he is another one who made it down last year in the 4x2 and the 4x4, ran cross country for me. Again, just gonna miss all these boys so much, Jaden Matlock. And yes, there's 2 of them. They're the twins that have just come. They really found themselves this year as runners and just were awesome in cross country, awesome last year in track, and I was so happy that Connor was able to get down in the 4x1. So Connor Wasik. Our last runner, he was the opening leg of the 4x1. He'd never done a start before in a sprint event. Did a great lead leg, and then went and later that day qualified for state in the 800-meter run. He also, I have to say, one of the coolest things I saw here at the Lukanzik track, he decided he wanted to break the school record and really out by himself, nobody around him, broke the Jane Addams school record this year by 0.05 seconds with a 2:11.87. Brett Wasik.
Again, Joey Horn, Lukansic Middle School. Just wanted to make sure we recognize Michael Osei Bonsu.
Next, we have the IHSA Girls State Track and Field qualifiers from BHS. Dr. Piscadja.
Thank you, Mr. Zach. Community, colleagues, senior leadership, Board of Education, thank you for having us. Thank you for honoring us tonight. Jen Smith, our Assistant Activities Director, is going to introduce our coach and our athletes. But I did want to say a little bit about Mr. Birmingham. I go into the PE office and I'll talk to him, I'll ask him how the meets went, and he introduced me to the words PR, personal record. One of the most positive coaches I've ever had the chance to work with. If you ever get a chance to sit down and talk to him, he brings the best out of our kids, thinks about our kids, and always shines them in the best light. So Jen Smith, our Assistant Activity Director.
Good evening. Just to piggyback off what Dr. Pascavage said, Howard is a very dedicated coach both during the in-season and the off-season. The time he puts forth for these kids really comes through during the season, and where they are able to achieve their PRs and have many of our athletes have the honor to make it downstate. So, Mr. Birmingham.
Man, I didn't see that coming, so it was pretty emotional. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So we have 3 out of our 14 state qualifiers here today due to other obligations and commitments that they had. This is a proud moment for me. These 2 young ladies right behind me, Caitlin Johnson, qualified for state in the 100 and 300 meter hurdles, 4x1. She did a phenomenal job. There you go, Caitlin. Go ahead. Came in 8th place at state, all-state, made the all-state team as well. Last but definitely not least, as far as the ones who are here, Kayla Walters. Come on, Kayla. She qualified for state in the 100 hurdles, 300 hurdles, helped our 4x1 team to qualify for state and made it to state as a novice triple jumper as well, jumping 37 feet and 3/4 of an inch. Not bad at all. She also came in 4th place at state, making the all-state team as well. For the boys, Brandon Walters, I'm very proud, come on up. I'm very proud of him because, he's one of the football players that came out, and then not only did he do a heck of a job on the football field, but also on the track and field as well. Made significant improvements, had lots of range from he could do the 100 to 200, 400, but he did a heck of a job helping our boys 4x1 team qualify for state. So good job. I'm just going to go ahead and mention all the state qualifiers who are unable to make it today, as I previously said, because of other obligations. But for the girls, I already mentioned Kayla Walters and Caitlin Johnson. But we had Tajay Jackson for the 100, 200, 400, and the 4x1. Kayla Perry helped our 4x1 team. For the boys, we had Sean Showalter for the 100-meter dash and for the 4x1. Kumi, Brandon Walters, Julian Valerio, and Jordan Pringle, who's our alternate for the 4x1. Leon Nepomuceno, who qualified for state in the pole vault, and then Tyler Cushing, who qualified for state in the the 2 mile. Our team MVPs were Tyler Cushing and Kayla Walters. Thank you all for your time.
I might add that the nice young man that's here, I watched him in his academic awards, get several. He had his awards for sports, and he's going to West Point, which is very proud to be a part of that.
Board Member Liaison Report. From my left.
Sorry. I attended a BIP meeting, which is the Behavior Intervention Plan, which is going to be changed, I believe, to the BSP program, because BIPs are only for children who have IEPs. It sounds like a whole bunch of letters here. So we have another meeting coming up to discuss Behavior Support Plan, which would be for all students who do not have the IEPs. Thank you.
From my right. Notice we have Bolingbrook trustee Sheldon Watts in the audience. I'd like to say hello. Audience participation. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? If so, please state your name and remember that due to time restraints, you have 5 minutes. Action report, Dr. Mitchum.
Yes, Mr. Zach, I'd like to ask that the board approve student due process case A as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Action report, Ms. Kinder?
No report this evening.
Action report, Mr. Gerzafi.
Yes, per the information report we presented at the prior Board of Education meeting, we are recommending and seeking approval to purchase and implement new and replacement technology resources to maintain and enhance the current technology infrastructure. The 3 areas of need requested are virtual server replacements, cloud backup and disaster recovery infrastructure, as well as a high school classroom technology refresh pilot. All of the items are listed in the action report for your information. At this time, we are again recommending approval of the purchase of this hardware and services to upgrade the infrastructure at a cost of $272,244 plus any associated lease finance costs, subject to attorney review and approval.
So moved.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Also, on the heels of an information report, we are recommending the annual consolidated instructional and operational software maintenance renewal. There are 11 titles in the instructional software support renewal section, 7 titles in the operational software support renewal. And so we are recommending approval as presented, again, subject to attorney review and approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or questions?
Gary, I noticed that there was one of those that went down because of the new SIS program. Are there others that were taken away because of our new systems program?
At this time, I think those are the primary, the web hosting, GradeCrick, and the Parent Link are the 2 that I think you're referring to, which have modules built into the new SIS. Once we have that SIS online, the new Student Information System, or SIS, we may see others that we might either pursue modules with Infinite Campus, but right now I think those are the 2 that primarily we will save on renewal for.
Thank you.
No more questions? Roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Action report, Human Resources, Dr. Nash.
Good evening. Action Report 12.1 is the consolidated action report for certified and classified personnel. This evening, we're seeking your approval on 45 items for certified personnel, 22 items for classified personnel, 1 item for classified administrative personnel, and 2 items for certified administrative personnel.
So moved.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, before I move on to the other items, I just wanted to mention that in the consolidated action report tonight, we approved the appointment of Mr. Joey Horn as the assistant principal of Oakview Elementary School. Mr. Horn has been in Valley View since 2011 and has served as an elementary physical education teacher and was most recently the dean here at Lukanzik Middle School. Mr. Horn, if you would like to stand and be recognized, we'd like to congratulate you on your appointment. Action Report 12.2, we are seeking the approval of Resolution 1811, authorizing the dismissal of an educational support personnel employee for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Abstain.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action Report 12.3, this is a certified job description that we brought to your review on May 14th, 2018 for Special Education Assisted Technology Coordinator. We are seeking your approval this evening.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or question? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action Report 12.4, we have 3 job descriptions that have been amended. We are seeking waiver of first read tonight and recommendation for your approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
No.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Superintendent's information report. Ms. Kinder.
Yes, sir. Information Report 13.1, we are presenting a draft school calendar for the 2019-2020 school year. This is being brought forth prior to information, and then we will come back with approval. The goal of the calendar committee is to create a calendar that is conducive as possible to providing students with quality instructional time. We had a committee that consisted of certified, classified staff members from all grade levels, members of the Board of Education, and parent representatives. The committee took into consideration state guidelines, required legal holidays, election days, collective bargaining agreement language, and input previously received from various internal and external sources. We will post a draft calendar on our website, vvsd.org, so that parent and community can have a chance to preview this, and then modifications would be made if necessary prior to seeking approval at the next board meeting in June.
Thank you. Dr. Nash.
Information Report 13.2 this evening is a new job description for a teaching and learning coach at grade 6-12. We will be seeking your approval at the June 11th, 2018 for the job description.
Ms. Kinder.
All right. I have one board policy this evening for adoption. This is information prior to seeking approval. This is 6135 Accelerated Placement Program. This policy was drafted in accordance with new Illinois School Code, and in accordance with our legal review. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have this evening or before the next board meeting.
I have a question. Is that for all grades?
Yes, so it's a general policy, and then once the policy is approved, we would develop administrative procedure as to what this specifically impacts at the different grade levels. For example, early entry at the elementary level.
I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand if it's even just one subject, they could be advanced in one subject. Will there be a full year advancement for some students?
We currently have that now in many cases. It's just the requirement to have that basically in writing and communicated so everyone's sure what that process is and what exactly opportunities are available for advancement. And so yes, it could be by subject level, and it could be within the classroom, or it could be going to an additional grade level. At some of the breaks, for example, we have students in 8th grade who go to the high school for acceleration in certain areas. And then we have opportunities at the other levels throughout it just depends on if we're looking at elementary, middle, or high. But we currently do acceleration. We would just be formalizing the process at all the different levels.
So I'm just clarifying, so if they're in 2nd grade, but they're doing 3rd grade work, would we call them a 3rd grader, or would they just be doing 3rd grade work?
It really depends on the child. And so we have had instances where students are accelerated a full grade, and then they would be, in essence, considered a 3rd grader. And that's based on academic and social determination. It's not very common, but it does happen. The more likely scenario would be challenge programming, for example. So students are accelerated a full year, but they are still considered a 4th grader, for example. They're just having accelerated curriculum and more in-depth learning. And so most likely it is a case of honors as an acceleration option, challenge programming, or going up a grade level if the needs can't be met inside of that grade level. For example, a 4th grader going up for 5th grade math, for example.
So when they're accelerated like that, are they tested at that level with the state tests?
They are, yes. Mm-hmm. And so in prior years when we've had state tests administered by the course, if students were in that course and they were accelerated, they were tested with that peer group. So if they are determined to be based on whatever their placement is, that's where they're tested. If they were accelerated a year, then they would test with that group. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Legal Service, any report?
No report.
AFT, any report? No report. Valley View Council, any report? No report. And the Valley View Office Personnel Council emailed in a no report. Thank you. Any old business from the board? Any new business from the board? Any questions from the public on an action that has been taken tonight? Any announcements from the board?
Yes, I just like to thank our Valley View personnel for all the work that they've done for this school year, and just wish everyone a restful, blessed summer with their families and friends.
Okay, any announcements from the administration?
Yes, Member Campbell stole my thunder, but I did want to congratulate all of the staff, administration, teachers, and students for another successful year, and hope that you have a restful summer.
Any announcements from the public? Could I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor, aye? All the ayes have it. Thank you for attending tonight.